Hi friends, we will complete the suppliers query. In the last video, we have completed till purchasing tab, and this is the query which we have developed up to freight term lookup code. So this is guys, this is very important. Why? Because in order to write the validations as well as in order to insert the data into the interface tables, we need to understand these things. Otherwise, you can't perform any conversion. Not only this conversion, any conversion. So in this way only we need to understand the functionality. So here I'm querying our supplier name. So here we have completed till purchasing, right? So now we will be going to receiving. So here receiving part means purchasing means it is at a purchase order level. Receiving means once the items are sent by the supplier to our location, then these things will comes into picture. So enforce ship to location. Uh, it is I'm not sure with this column. Here receipt routing. Here receipt routing you can see here. Here receipt routing you can have a standard inspection required delivery, direct delivery means if the items are at your location, then without checking anything you want to means directly you want to send them into your inventory, then you can select directly direct delivery. Inspection required means the inspection required means we need to inspect the items, and we need to match them with the PO, as well as other things also. Standard receipt delivery we should have. So all these things we can discuss in the purchase order conversion. I'll discuss all these things in detail. Now I'm selecting direct delivery. Okay, and match approval. You're saying two way or three way or four way. You can select anyone. I'm selecting two way. And the tolerance means if the items are one is missing, then you can you will you accept it or not? Yes, say I'm accepting one quantity, then it's not a big issue, because the small item if we are importing nuts for example from the supplier, so one is not a big issue, right? So similar for that case, we'll be having the tolerance. Generally we will not have this one, but for our understanding purpose I have given. And quantity receive exception means if you are missing one more than one item, then what you are saying, you want to reject it or warning, you just reject it. You want to get the items means you said that tomorrow you want the items, but today only supplier is receiving sending the data, sending the items into your inventory. Then in that case you are going to accept it or not? So how many days early you are expecting, will you accept? Only 2 days. And here days late means tomorrow you want the items, but supplier is sending after 1 day, then will you accept or not? So 2 days if it is late, then you are okay. If you are okay with 3 days, then 3. And receipt date exception, if this is except means date days late receipt allowed more than 3 days, then you want to reject it. Yes, means tomorrow you want, after 3 days you the supplier sent the items. In that case you are going to reject that particular items, so you're not going to have any more relation, means for those order purchase order will be cancelled. So in that way, this is the receipt date exception is having that meaning. Save. So here receiving means you will be having at supplier level or supplier site level. You need to understand. So receipt routing. See here, you are not seeing anywhere the supplier site information, right? So in that case, definitely it will be there in supplier level or supplier site level. I'm guessing it will be at supplier level. Why? Because but while entering only I should understand here it is there is no site information. That's why I'm assuming that this particular table supplier supplier level only I'll be having all those information. So first one is what? Receipt routing. Just I'm writing here receipt routing id. You will be having one column called receipt routing id. Still, if you are not confirm, you are not clear, then click on F4, column name, and here just write down R, receipt routing ID. Okay, this is the receipt routing ID, not receipt routing. Here, how would you understand this one? Here you are having three. Observe here. Here you are having three types, right? One is direct delivery, one is direct delivery, standard receipt, inspection required, direct delivery. So direct delivery you got three. But if you observe, if you select standard, then it will go with one. Observe here. So it is changed with one. So here for standard one, for inspection required two, direct delivery three. Based on my understanding, I am telling directly. Or else, if you want to know, select star from this information is stored obviously in which table? F&D lookup values, where meaning like direct. Let us try direct. 240 are there, right? So it is a bit difficult to understand. So direct, if you remember direct, uh, here I want to use this one, this exact name. So it is not there. Description. So it is there. So standard receipt. See, lookup code is what? One. And here description it is showing, and standard receipt is nothing but the meaning in the F&D lookup values. So if you want to have the same name, you need to have what is the lookup type here? Receipt lookup type is equals to this much. So these three values you are having, right? So in the front end, whatever you are seeing, these three, and here you need to attach this, you need to connect with the major tables, right? So FND FLV, it is what? Receipt route. So three values you are getting. So I'm going to link this particular table with the supplier query, not supplier side query. So where you are having supplier query, this is a vendor query, right? So I'm going to attach this particular information to the vendor. So here vendor, and I'm attaching this information to the vendor. And receipt routing ID, right? Receipt routing ID is equals to lookup code in which table? FLV RE route, and this is coming from APS. That is fine, but what is a lookup type? If you don't give lookup type, it will give more values. Observe here how many values you should get? Only one, right? But still it is giving some error. Okay, you are getting more than 500, right? It is not correct. Why? Because we have missed here lookup type. Lookup type is mandatory. If you don't give, you will get more values. See here, one record you are getting. And if you see here, if you see here, I want to get the column name. What is the column name uh, from this table? From this table, it is what? Meaning. Just use com. So you got standard receipt, whatever you have selected in the front end. So I'm updating this query in my notepad. Okay, with this one column is completed. What about rest of the columns? Match approval level. You can see here match approval level. Match approval level means two-way or three-way, whatever it is. Observe here. It is also at supplier level only, right? So try to execute it. Supplier level, you execute it. You can see one column called match option. You can see column called match option. You will be having column called match option. Woman. See here, days early receipt allowed, days late receipt allowed. These two columns you got, right? So I'm copying these two columns because again and again we need not check. See, these two columns, and you can see quantity received exception code. Here you have selected a reject, right? In the front end you have selected reject. Here you have selected reject. So this is what you got here. And RCV tolerance means this is the column which you have selected as one quantity. Here the quantity received tolerance, and receipt date, it is completed, right? Receipt date exception code you selected as reject. So this one selected as rejected, this one has also rejected, and receipt it is completed already. Allow substitute, no, allow substitute receipt flag. You have not selected anything, but still if you want to assign anything you can assign. I'll show you this one. See here you have not selected anything, so by default it will be having an. I'm looking for match option. Yeah, match option. You can see here match option. What is a match option? Whichever you selected here, it is R, it is showing R, but in front end you have selected two-way. If you select three-way, then see here what it will select. Two-way means what you got here? Two-way means you got R, and three-way means you got what you got. Let us check. Let us check match option directly. See here also you are having. Let us try to save it. So still it is showing as R. Why it is showing as R? I want to change it. 2 4. Still it is not changing. Let me check this. We'll discuss in the while doing the conversion, but still this is the match option is nothing but here whatever you are seeing match approval level, that is the one which you are going to get. But still why it is not getting, let me check. Okay, so here almost all columns we have got except match approval level. I will discuss about in a few minutes. And go to payments. And here observe, here you can have a payment method at supplier level, and you can have a payment method at the supplier site level. I'm selecting a payment method at supplier site level. See here, you are going to pay the money through check or electronic or by wire or bill payable. In what way you are going to select? I want to check through the. I want to say, give the data. I want to pay the money through check. Then you need to select check. If you want to pay money through the electronic pay, then you can select electronic. You can select anything. And this is payment method. Okay, click on save. So I'm going to select this one at which level? Site level. So site level means which table will be affected? Sites table will be affected. Here you will be having, you just need to check here what is the method you are having. You have selected here payment method, pay group, lookup code, prepay code. Here you are in a supplier level or supplier site level only, right? So let me try to pay on receipt. This also completed. Yeah, match option. Here also match option is there, but still. So payment method is not coming. Why it is not coming? Yes, payment method lookup code. So this is the column which we need to use, and you need to add to which code to the supplier site, right? This is supplier. The second query is nothing but supplier site level, right? All these things. So I'm adding here. It will be a bit clear for you. And here you just add here APSA dot payment method lookup code. But here, how do you know that these are the payment methods we are having? So there is a table called IB by EXT payment methods where all payment methods will be exist. Let me show you that. So here I would like to, sorry, before that we have not added all these columns to the supplier, right? Supplier query. So I'm adding it to the supplier query, and please don't confuse here. I'm adding all these things to the supplier query. Supplier query means in our so this is a supplier query. I'm updating this query in my notepad with this query 1. Okay, this is fine. Now we are checking the payment method at supplier site level. Supplier site level. Payment method. What is the table which will be having all payment method means IBY EXT payment methods. This is a table which will be having IBXT payment method. Where table name like IBYXT pay. You will get here so you just take IBY payment methods tier. Okay, so this is a table which consists of the payment method where payment method name like wire. Okay, you can see this wire right in the front end. What you are seeing, these are the four methods, right? You are having 1 2 3 4 5, all these methods you can see here also. Okay, so that method whichever the user gives, that method should be exist in the IBY payment methods TL. So if you want to add this particular one to the supplier side query, yes, you can add. Here already we have added, right, payment in the vendor supplier query payment method. So here you can add one more table, which is IBM IPMT. I got. So then IPMT. So here you will be not having the code in the IBY payments TL. You just try to use IBY payment methods B. Then you can see code. I think I'm not sure. Yeah, payment code. So here I want to use payment method code. This is coming from the AP supplier sites, and this is coming from IPMT, and I am not taking TL translated view, I am using the B. Okay, so this query must work, right? And here what should I take here? If here this is used for testing, writing the validations only. Still I want to check this query is correct or not. Yes, no rows are selected, means it is not correct. So here payments TL, that is fine. You need to take payment method only. You need to take payment method, and here you need to take translated view only TL. Now you'll get the data. Still you are not getting payment method code. Here in the TL translated view also, we need to take a payment method code only, not name. Oh, still you are not getting. What is the issue? Why you are not getting the data? Let me check. Okay, payment method we have not selected. Huh? We have selected, I think. Okay, we didn't save. Still the payment method is not there. Why it is not there? We need to check. Payment method lookup code. Okay, payment method lookup code from API supplier sites. So it is not there. Why it is not there? It is not there. Electronic. Let me check other information. Why it is not affecting? We need to check. Okay, it's okay. It's not a big deal. Uh, Here you will be, if there is any payment method that should exist in which table, IBY payment methods TL. That is what you need to remember here. We will discuss in the at latter point. Still, I didn't understand why it is not affecting, but these are the major columns. And there is another table, another tab called Invoice Management. This is the last tab which we need to understand. Here you can see most of the topics, most of the columns you can see here. Invoice currency, invoice match option. Here the match option you can see here. This is the match option, I think. So we have selected wrongly. And if I select purchase order, then in the supplier level, here match option is there, right? Earlier we have seen match option. It is changed to P. So if it is P means receipt. If it is P means purchase order. Match option P means purchase order. And R means receipt. So here we have selected purchase order. If you want to select receipt, yes, you can receipt. And here all these columns we will see now. Okay. First column is invoice currency, and I can see payment currency. These two currencies we will see at what level. You can see at what level. You can see at supplier site level as well as supplier level. So I'm going to take the at supplier site level, not supplier level. It is not required. In fact, here you can see supplier site level. See here, all the information which is there in the above, all these things you can see here. These three columns we will discuss now. So invoice amount limit, invoice tolerance, and invoice match option. So same receipt and purchase order. So it will be there in which table, at site level, right? Of course we can have a at supplier level also. So let me write in a fast way. First we'll write invoice match option at supplier site level. It is match option at supplier site level. Okay, you are having R. So here match option we need to add from the supplier site. So in this query only I'm adding directly. See, with this we can write any kind of complex code on suppliers, I'm 100% sure. And invoice currency you can see at supplier site level. See, there is a column called invoice currency at supplier site level. Invoice currency and payment currency, you can see two columns side by side. Invoice currency, yeah, invoice currency code and payment currency code. I'm adding those columns also, invoice currency code and payment currency code. Let me show you those two columns in the front end also. So see here, when you select here supplier site level, invoice currency is US dollars. And payment currency, in the payment tab you can see payment currency both should be same always. Invoice as well as payment both should be same most of the cases. Okay, those two columns also completed. Next, these are not much important. Okay, coming to payment, here it is completed. Payment priority, payment group, pay group, and direct bank charge from payment. Deduct bank charge from the payment. So these three columns we'll see. Payment priority, you can see the payment priority. Payment priority direct column you can see here. Okay, this is completed. Next, and here you can see pay group. Let me check. Obviously it is there in which table? Supplier sites table only, but actual information will be stored in which table? fnd lookup fnd lookup values. So it is difficult to find, right? As there are 315 values. So my guess, I'm guessing where lookup type like pay. See here, pay group you are having directly, it is matching with the pay group, right? So try to take this lookup type. Lookup type is equals to, see here, you can have around 38 values, right? If you see in the front end, remove this one and select from here and try to check this. You are having right all this thing ALAP. Sorry, for example, ALAP. Let us try to check ALAP. So all these things you can see. So this particular FND lookup values we need to attach to, we need to connect to which table? AP supplier sites, right? So here what is a pay on? What is a column name? Pay on code, right? Pay on code, right? Right. Pay group, right? Pay group. Pay group. If you have a still problem in finding, just click on this table F4 P. Here you can see pay group lookup code. It is very easy to find out the column name. So here this column is column you need to take here. Okay, so I'm not writing anything FND lookups all the things, you just understand because we have already discussed so many points. Standard, I have selected standard. Okay, pay group is completed. Next, here deduct charge, bank charge from the payment. So deduct charge from payment means here it is at supplier level, supplier site level only, but we need to understand which column is affecting. You should have a patience here. So here you can see yes, right? Just try to update it and see what would happen. at supplier site level. I'm updating it to now. I suspect I suspect this is the column. I suspect this is a column. Uh, it is now S, right? I have already saved it to no. Let us try to check. It is I. Now I am changing it to supplier standard. Now, yes. So this is a column which is affecting, right? Bank charge payer. Who is going to bear the charges? Supplier or us? By our company. So this is a column which is going to be. So here we need to know here what are the lookup values you are having. Bank charger value. You just try to get from where you will be getting here all these values from the lookup only. So I'm not going in detail as I have already discussed so many points. So now here the terms and terms date basis, pay date basis, you can see this is very important. And always take discount, exclude freight from the discount. Always take discount, exclude freight from. So here the terms you're so the terms information is stored at the supplier site level only. Here you are having the column called term id or terms id. You will be having terms id. Here you can see terms id and the term information. This is also important validation. Select star from. You are having a table called ap terms tl, where term id is equal to 1003, right? 10,003. So see here, what is the name you are seeing here? The same name you can see here. So here you need to attach this table to the supplier side query. Supplier side query. Here see, we are doing some mistake here. Sometimes we are adding columns here, sometimes there. Definitely it will give us trouble. Here the payment lookup code. Here the payment lookup code. Here all these columns are added. Okay, after payment method. Okay, so we'll add here itself. If anything goes wrong, we'll add. We'll check here. Here we'll add a new table. We'll add a new table. We'll add a new table. 80 and 80A. APSA supplier sites term ID. APSA supplier sites. You will be having terms ID, and AP terms will be having term ID. So ATA is the alias name. ATA alias name. And from here you need to have ATA name. So term name you have got, right? Here you write down term name. So this is also completed. Next you will be having the term date basis. Date basis, simply you can say it is a date basis. You will be having the column called date basis. You can see one more column called date basis. See here, term date basis. Directly you will have a term basis. Here you just add here APSA direct column name. Next, pay date basis. One more column called pay date basis. Term date basis as well as pay date basis. Pay date basis. Here, pay date basis lookup code due. You can see in the front end what due. In the back end capital due. So obviously it is coming from which table? Obviously it is from APSA lookup code only. So with this almost all columns are completed, and always take discount and exclude freight from the discount. See, don't think that these are not required. While you are writing the single insert script, you will understand this information is required or not. Very important. You can do calculations very easy. You can do single insertion, and we can do validations. We can insert the data into the interface table very easily if you understand these concepts. You'll feel better when I'm doing all those things. Okay. Always take discount flag is no. Next, the second one is what? Exclude fried from voice will be exclude the payment flag exclude exclude. You should have patience here in order to find the table column. Here exclude. Yeah, exclude fried from the discount. So this column I'm adding here, and go to last step. Here I don't find anything, right? So with this, almost all columns are completed. So I'm copying it onto my notepad. It is a second query, right? As it is a vendor side query. Okay, with this, almost the query base table is completed. So here with this, first step is completed almost, but here we are supposed to create a supplier side with 3 contacts, right? But we have created how many contacts? Only 1 contact. So let me complete that one. Go to contact directory, and here I would like to create one more contact. Create contact. Under US only we are doing this. Mr. name is test contact 2, and I'm not giving any other details, and click on apply. as as last name is only mandatory, we are not giving any other details. The supplier to contact also created, site contact also created. Next, one more contact I would like to create, miss test contact 3. Okay, area code, phone number. Oh, what happened? Miss Rosie, last name, test contact 3. Click on apply. So 3 contacts have been created, right? So let me execute our query, contact query, which was developed in the previous videos. Take this particular query and I take a new tab. Just I want to check how many records we are getting. So missing expression again, what happened? Okay, table AP supplier. Okay. Person title ambiguously. Okay. All these are coming from which table? Relationship, I think. Let me try to use a relationship. And it is also relationship, and it is also coming from relationship. Let me check. You are getting more records. See here how many records you are getting. More records. Why? Because we have not mentioned here the vendor name, vendor ID, or party site ID, whatever it is, whatever. So try to use vendor ID. Let me try to use vendor ID and see what would happen, how many records you will be getting. Okay, so APS, clear? Only one record you are getting. Why we are getting only one record? We have not attached the record to the supplier side. Observe here. Go to supplier test US. See here, we have attached to the supplier side, but when you go to other people, Rosie, you have not attached them to the what do you call supplier side. You know, if you once you attach it, you will get the record there. Okay, apply and observe here. Here, Rosie and test contacts are the two contacts at supplier site level, and test contact to at supplier level. Observe here. You will not get a third record. Only two records you are getting. Two records only you are getting. But but I'm what I'm saying is you will not get the third record unless until you attach it to the one supplier site. Apply. So observe here, three records you are going to get. So in this way we can take I would like to take this one. I would like to, this is a contact, right? Try to use person information from person means first name, last name, or whatever. So you are having, so here you are getting correctly now. That's it. With this, almost the base tables and the columns have been explained clearly and crystal clearly, and we will discuss in the next video. First step is completed, right? First step is completed. In the second step, we have created the US data, US address, contact 1, contact 2, contact 3. Now what we do is, with the backend method, we will create UK site and one address and a site and contact, one contact will create by using interface tables. And once it is selected, I would like to add here one more point. Note, test conversion method with single insertion. If it is a API method or if it is a interface table method, you should try one record directly by assigning the data, inserting the data. If it is a interface table method, direct insert data, insert into table name directly, then whether check whether they are creating record in the front end or not or in the database or not. We will see in the next step, next video. This is end of the video. Thanks for watching.